People mostly see nuclear wars in movies, red buttons, countdowns, flashing lights on world maps. But in the real world, when the world was on the verge of being destroyed, there was no dramatic scene, not even the sound of a siren. There was only a single room, a desk, a telephone, and a man sitting alone. The date was September 26th, 1983. One of the most tense periods of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union trusted each other almost not at all. Both sides possessed vast nuclear arsenals, and both sides were ready to treat even the smallest mistake by the other as a reason for war. That day, a Soviet air defense officer was on duty. His name was Stanislav Petrov. Petrov was not a general, not a politician, nor someone who imagined his name would be written into history. He was just an ordinary man doing his job. His task was simple, but the consequences were terrifying. The Soviet early warning system had been designed to detect possible nuclear attacks from the United States. If the system detected an attack, the responsible officer would report it to his superiors, and they would launch a counterstrike. So Petrov's job was essentially this. If the alarm sounded, inform the authorities. He was not supposed to decide. He was not supposed to interpret. He was only supposed to relay the information. That night, everything started normally. The monitors were normal. The system was quiet, until that moment. Suddenly, the alarm went off. A single word appeared on the monitor. Missile launched. The system indicated that an intercontinental ballistic missile had been launched from the United States toward the Soviet Union. According to protocol, this was not open to debate. It could not be a mistake. The system was considered incapable of error. What Petrov was supposed to do was clear. Inform his superiors. But Petrov stopped. Something didn't make sense to him. If the United States were launching a nuclear attack, why would they fire only a single missile? Why wouldn't it be a massive strike? There was no answer to that question. Petrov began to think, and then the alarm sounded again. This time there were 5 missiles on the screen. The room grew tense. Time was passing. The window was closing. If this information was passed to high command, the Soviets would launch a counterattack. This was a chain with no point of return, but Petrov was still unsure. The monitors said attack. But his instincts whispered something else. The system was new. It had never been fully tested before. And Petrov noticed that ground radar systems had detected nothing yet. A nuclear attack would not begin like this. But what if he was wrong? What if this really was an attack? Then the decision he was making would become the biggest mistake of his life. Petrov saw 2 options before him: follow the rules, or trust his instincts. If he followed the rules and the alarm was false, the world would be destroyed. If he trusted his instincts and the alarm was real, the world would still be destroyed. This was not a decision a single person should have had to make alone. But that night the choice fell to him. Petrov did not pick up the phone. He reported the alarm as false. At that moment no one knew it, but the world was perhaps living through its most dangerous minutes. Minutes passed. No missile fell. No explosion occurred. Eventually, the truth emerged. The system had malfunctioned. There was no American attack. What had been detected was sunlight reflecting off clouds. Satellite sensors had mistaken it for a missile launch. The world had been saved that day, but no one celebrated. Petrov was not rewarded. No medal was given. No praise was offered. On the contrary, he was reprimanded. He was questioned for not following protocol. He was criticized for incomplete reports. The incident was covered up. For years no one learned about it. Petrov continued his job. Then he retired. He lived an ordinary life. The world would later learn that it owed its existence to one man's instincts. The most unsettling part of this story is not nuclear weapons, nor the alarm systems. The most unsettling part is this: the world was saved not by rules, but by a man who chose not to follow them, and this was not an exception. Modern systems appear flawless. Algorithms, sensors, protocols, all are designed to eliminate the margin for error. But systems are always built by humans, and all humans make mistakes. Sometimes systems fail, and the one who notices that failure is, once again, a human being. Petrov's story tells us this. The most dangerous moments do not arrive screaming. They arrive silently. And more often than not, history is shaped not by great leaders, but by the decisions of someone sitting alone in a room. If Petrov had picked up the phone that night, the world we live in today might not exist. And perhaps the most disturbing question of all is this: the next time, will the person sitting in that room show the same courage?